Welcome to WIH TV. Let's have informative, interesting and historical events of May 1946. May 1, 1946, the International Military Tribunal for the Far East began in Tokyo, Japan, prosecuting Japanese officials for war crimes during World War II. The Allies' war crimes trial in Tokyo sentenced 7 Japanese military and government officials to death. May 2, 1946, a magnitude 7.0 earthquake struck the Aleutian Islands in Alaska, causing significant seismic activity. May 3, 1946, the International Military Tribunal for the Far East continued in Tokyo, focusing on the prosecution of Japanese leaders. The International Military Tribunal for the Far East sentenced former Prime Minister Hideki Tojo and 6 others to death. May 4, 1946, the United States declared an end to wartime sugar rationing, lifting restrictions on its sale and consumption. The Syrian government officially recognized Lebanon's independence. May 5, 1946, the Allies' war crimes trial in Tokyo sentenced 29 Japanese officials to prison terms, with 1 receiving a life sentence. May 6, 1946, the New York Yankees became the first Major League Baseball team to travel by plane for a game. King Victor Emmanuel III of Italy formally abdicated in favor of his son, Crown Prince Umberto II. May 7, 1946, Tokyo's first post-war mayoral election was held, marking a milestone in Japan's democratization. The Tokyo War Crimes Tribunal sentenced 55 Japanese war criminals to prison. May 8, 1946, the Paris Peace Conference officially came to an end, with the victorious Allies concluding negotiations with defeated nations. The first meeting of the United Nations Trusteeship Council took place in New York. May 9, 1946, King Umberto II of Italy ascended to the throne after his father's abdication. The International Military Tribunal for the Far East sentenced former Prime Minister Koki Hirota and others to death. The U.S. Navy captured 22 former Japanese war criminals attempting to escape Japan. May 10, 1946, the International Military Tribunal for the Far East sentenced former Prime Minister Shigenori Togo and others to death. The Paris Peace Conference officially ratified peace treaties with Italy, Romania, Hungary, Bulgaria, and Finland. American swimmer Adolf Kiefer set a new world record in the 100-yard backstroke, solidifying his place in sports history. May 11, 1946, the International Military Tribunal for the Far East sentenced former Prime Minister Kuniaki Koiso and others to death. The United Nations' first specialized agency, the International Labour Organization, ILO, held its annual conference in Geneva, Switzerland. May 12, 1946, the Italian government proclaimed Italy a republic, officially ending the monarchy. The League of Nations' former headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland, was handed over to the United Nations. May 13, 1946, the First General Assembly of the United Nations held its last meeting in London. The Dutch colonial administration in Indonesia signed a ceasefire agreement with the Indonesian nationalists, suspending hostilities. May 14, 1946, the International Military Tribunal for the Far East sentenced former Prime Minister Hideki Tojo and 6 others to death. The U.S. State Department announced that 567 Germans, including industrialists and technical experts, would be brought to the United States to assist with post-war efforts. May 15, 1946, the British government issued an arrest warrant for Mohandas Gandhi and other Congress leaders in India following their call for civil disobedience. The Egyptian government declared its intention to terminate the Anglo-Egyptian Treaty of 1936 and gain full sovereignty. May 16, 1946, the last meeting of the League of Nations Preparatory Commission for the International Refugee Organization took place in New York. The Chinese Civil War resumed after the truce between the nationalists and communists broke down. May 17, 1946, the International Military Tribunal for the Far East sentenced 28 Japanese officials to prison terms. U.S. President Harry S. Truman vetoed a bill that would have continued wartime wage and price controls, citing inflation concerns. May 18, 1946, the Egyptian government officially notified Britain of its intention to end the Anglo-Egyptian Treaty of 1936. The United Nations Temporary Commission on Korea began its investigation into the situation in Korea. May 19, 1946, The first French naval ship carrying French troops arrived in Vietnam, initiating the First Indochina War. The British government officially recognized the independence of Transjordan. May 20, 1946, the Indonesian nationalist leader, Sukarno, delivered a speech rejecting the Dutch-Indonesian ceasefire agreement. The United Nations Security Council held its first meeting in London. May 21, 1946, a severe earthquake with a magnitude of 7.7 struck the Dominican Republic, causing significant destruction and loss of life. May 22, 1946, the first election for the French Fourth Republic took place, marking a significant moment in French post-war politics. Egypt officially cancelled the Anglo-Egyptian Treaty of 1936, asserting its full sovereignty. May 23, 1946, the International Military Tribunal for the Far East sentenced former Prime Minister Fumimaro Konoe and others to death. May 24, 1946, Jordan officially gained independence from the United Kingdom. Syrian troops and Arab volunteers clashed with French forces in Syria, leading to tensions and violence. May 25, 1946, the United Nations Security Council passed a resolution calling for the withdrawal of foreign troops from Syria. Jordan's King Abdullah I survived an assassination attempt in Jerusalem. May 26, 1946, the Indonesian National Revolution intensified as the Dutch military launched an offensive in Java. May 27, 1946, the Paris Peace Conference signed a peace treaty with Italy, officially ending the state of war and outlining reparations and territorial adjustments. May 28, 1946, the Indonesian nationalist leaders, Sukarno and Muhammad Hatta, were arrested by the Dutch colonial authorities. May 29, 1946, the British Mandatory Authorities in Palestine arrested several leaders of the Jewish underground organization, Irgun. May 30, 1946, the British Mandate Authorities in Palestine arrested the leader of the Jewish Agency, David Ben-Gurion. The first general elections in Bulgaria were held under a new democratic constitution. May 31, 1946, King Umberto II of Italy left the country after the Italian referendum rejected the monarchy, leading to the establishment of the Italian Republic. The Greek government declared martial law in areas affected by the ongoing civil war. Thank you for watching WIH TV.